Hello, hello. Sorry la pequeña demora, pero es que me quedé escuchando la música del menú, como ya van otras veces que ha pasado. ¿Cómo le va a todos? Los cero viewers, pero no importa. Funny. Me gusta hacer ese tipo de chistes siempre. Estoy acá terminando de setear unas cositas que me olvidé de abrir mientras tanto, porque estaba leyendo otra cuestión. Bueno, como habrán visto, estuve subiendo unos videos de Doom Eternal, de mods. Eh, Dentro de todo para lo que son, para el canal que tengo, pues bien, hay un par que llegaron como a 100 views, uno que superó las 500, no lo puedo creer, fue como, ok. El fucking mapa de Mario, en serio, este superó las 500 views. Poquito, si comparas con YouTube como tal, pero hey, bien igual me parece, bien igual. Am, Así que nada, tengo pensado igualmente seguir subiendo más videos de mods de Doom Eternal. Hoy me dormí una siesta, así que no. Pues nada, no hice nada. Eh, pero como se llama esto. Nada, bueno. eh, con muchas ganas de lo que es el mod support de Doom Eternal, la verdad. Así que eh, espero seguir encontrando buenos mapas. Y vamos a continuar nomás con Disco Elysium. Ok, ¿qué se supone que tenía que hacer? No me acuerdo bien. Eh, Toque. Ok, ya estamos en miércoles, así que tengo que hacer esto. Cierra las cruces de agua el miércoles, encuentra la placa. Le dejo para la basura. Verga el karaoke. Ok, vamos a. Creo que no puedo hablar. A ver si puedes hablar con esta gente, a ver si tenían algo
I've got
interesante.
nothing to say to you.
¿Eres la chica
Why? I
Hardy?
am not.
Ok,
You could
no.
be Liz. You could be anything. You could even be a model.
Even a mod? Glenn, I went to law school. I am an attorney.
He's right. With a face like that, she could be on the cover of Le Debutante International.
Pues tiene razón, era muy guapa. ¿Podría ser ella la señorita Buford, a la que se refería Leo, a la que el señor preguntó a la facultad de Derecho?
So fucking what? Lots of models are actually really smart people, fuckwad.
Pero no tiene nada que ver con
No,
lo que ella dijo.
Glenn, they aren't. I am not.
You could be Liz.
Even a mod?
He's right.
Pues
With
tiene
a
razón,
face,
era muy
the
guapa.
cold look in her eyes speaks louder than words.
No me interesa. A ver, este menso.
The clowns are still hanging around. What is it now?
A ver si me tira alguna opción interesante. Loco, Debra me ha prometido vuestra cooperación.
Oh, so you went and talked to my mommy, and now she's making me play with you. Is that it, lawman?
¿Cómo está Fable? Cacacacac.
And what's gonna happen if we don't? You're gonna go and tell on us?
¿Por qué no me cuestionas más si lo averiguas, idiota? Muy maduro, chico. Debra nos puso bajo aviso, ¿cierto? Muy maduro, chicos.
Yeah, I heard him. Now fuck do you think I'm doing here? You'd have your ass handed to you if it wasn't for the boss man's word. Let me state this very clearly, capo. Hello, officer. I'm Titus Hardy, and these are my boys, Hardy boys. How may we assist you?
Ayúdame dándome dinero.
Explosive laughter follows. To his men, Titus Hardy is a golden god. They want to laugh at his jokes even before they leave his lips.
Alright. Dale, salí. Se queda mirando la puerta, el tarado. Ok, el cuerpo lo habíamos metido en una heladera. Espero que siga estando acá, sería muy raro que no esté. No, dije acá, toqué la puerta de la heladera.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse hidden inside its belly.
Ok, embolsalo, llévatelo, Kim. Dejar que el día enseñó el cuerpo sin volver a examinarlo. Sí, ¿para qué?
If you think so, officer, I'm not going to object. I need a little help for carrying him to the holding pen of my kinema. I'll take it from there.
¿Qué va mientras tanto?
Continue working here. The locals, the case, or attend to your own business. I will meet you downstairs in the Whirling in Rags tomorrow morning, 7:30 sharp.
This means Lieutenant Kisuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You're free to do side tasks and even the main case, though it might be more difficult. If you have nothing to do, read books or sit on the bench on the plaza.
Que se lo lleve. Piola, mira, voy a estar sin Kim. Interesante. Bueno, nos vemos, Kim. Bueno, con más excusas podemos volver, entonces. Jejeje. Ahora voy a intentar hablar con esta pendeja, a ver si puedo hacer diferente la...
Hello again, sir.
Ok, vale, voy a deducir algo en este mismo instante.
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden. Why is that?
¿Poco oculta las manos?
What do you mean, sir?
She knows where this is going.
No tienes que preocuparte, estoy aquí para ayudar.
She looks around anxiously. Her hands remain folded in front of her. She doesn't want to show them.
Ya me estoy de manos arriba.
She brings out her reddened hands, her nails frayed, nearly chewed down to the flesh.
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded?
Es muy sencillo por notificar
Well,
yo.
that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that.
No parece impresionada, qué hija de puta.
She actually is impressed. This is more like a defensive reflex.
¿Quieres más? Apuesto que puedo averiguar por qué te mueres las uñas. Tengo un par de razones en mente. Con que esas tenemos, muy bien. A ver si tú puedes hacer algo mejor. Deduce algo sobre... estas son buenas. A ver, que deduzca algo sobre
You're
mí.
quite sober.
Pues sí, que sacas que puede decir que puedo comprar algo de alcohol. Me lo pasado en grande. Tenés sentirse me de la cabeza. ¿Cómo sabes que normalmente no es así?
Because you usually aren't.
Me lo estoy pasando en
I
grande.
sure hope you are, sir.
There she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. She smiles at you. The whole situation suddenly feels familiar, somehow.
¿Qué se me está escapando? ¿Por qué me resulta familiar?
Because you know each other. She's been talking to you so openly because you've talked before.
Entonces me conoce, nos hemos visto antes.
Yes, I stand in this spot all the time. You've been running around all week without your shirt on, sir. Telling people the end of the world is coming. Don't really understand what you mean by it.
Pero ¿en serio te olvidaste de que hablaste con esta pendeja, protagonista? ¿Aún hecho de hablar contigo?
Of course, you stopped by a few times. You certainly look better than the last time I saw you.
Gracias, lo intento.
Yeah, I can see. You don't have party eyes anymore.
Los ojos idos.
You know, like a cat in the dark, all big and wide-eyed. It certainly looks odd on a man.
The swiveling eyes of a loony drug addict. That is what she meant. You were probably gurning too. Fuck yeah. You should get some party eyes right now. Snap those sequins on you, boy.
Ay, no quiero jugar a la nena. Esa señora que ha estado comprando narcóticos, la chica no sabe de qué está hablando, no olvida eso.
Don't leave us hanging like that, man. Open yourself to the experiences of the world. Expand your consciousness with amphetamines.
¿Por qué no me has dicho que desde el principio que ya los
I
conocíamos?
didn't know I had to do that.
Gracias, voy a aprender algo sobre mí mismo.
I'm glad I could help you, sir.
Nos vemos en esto. Me quedé con la otra opción. Vamos a tener a tu marido. ¿Qué
What
aspecto tiene
about
tu
him?
marido?
Honestly, not that different from you.
¿Tu marido es disco? Entonces, como un alcohólico en las últimas.
That's one way to put it, yes.
Sí.
No offense. I'd
Oh,
also
gordito.
add he's a little bit chubby.
Wait, did she just imply that you're fat? You're not fat. The body type she's referring to is called a Franco-Nigerian hard body.
No estoy gordito, su marido tampoco. Lo que quería decir que ambos tenemos un cuerpo cachita franco-nigeriano.
We both share what?
Un cuerpo cachita franco-nigeriano, ligeramente lento pero en forma. A las chicas les encanta.
I'm not sure about the rest, but softly round sounds about right. He's not in great shape. What else? He was wearing a dark brown leather jacket with a bright blue inner lining. The lining is hand-sewn. I made it myself.
Oh.
It's his cool jacket. God knows it's too cold to run around in this, but he refuses to change.
Who cares about the cold when you have your cool jacket to wear? You can completely sympathize.
I even tried
yeah.
throwing it away once, but he just dug it out of the bin. Can you believe it?
Sí, su chaqueta favorita puedo entender.
Well, what can you do? I hope that at least that extra lining helps him keep warm at night. I wouldn't like him to catch cold.
She's thinking about him out in the cold, in some park, or on the coast.
¿Cuándo lo viste por última vez?
Yesterday morning, he went to the library. He went to retrieve my book, and he promised he'd walk straight back home.
O sea, martes a la mañana fue.
Because we talked about this. We talked about not wandering off again. I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do with his addiction. Just makes me feel weak.
She turns away from you in an attempt to recover.
Creo que eso es todo,
So
gracias.
you are going to look for him.
Obvio.
She genuinely wants you to know. Don't make her ask.
Sí, lo trae de vuelta a casa.
Thank you. Please do. Even though I'm sure he will return home by himself. I'm still sure of that.
Increíble cómo esta sidequest se da por ser un
She
pesado de
tries to
mierda.
maintain a brave front, even though her eyes reveal the opposite.
What else can I do? Ya estuve a ver al link. Vende la modelo que tú solo. Ah, tengo que pagar la mierda de. Ah, bueno, sí, voy a ir por acá arriba, que me había faltado, pero era. A la pared.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
Imposible, ¿por qué estoy mirando este muro? Sí, sí, sí. A ver, no creo que
Yeah.
salga, no salió.
Why? It's a wall. An ordinary wall.
F. Niña, ¿puedo hablar contigo de vuelta?
Trying to sneak up on me again? Trying to snuff me out? Get away, pig!
Hace Tokuno ya no tiene con qué entretenerse. Está infeliz el niñato. Ok. Ok, tengo que ir al otro lado. Esta área no la exploré.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment
Sabe,
building.
¿sabes?
The door rattles against your knuckles.
Llámalo
The
después.
door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice.
Stop banging on the door. I'm not letting any more strangers inside.
Señora de limpieza, ¿quién es usted?
Doesn't matter who I am. Now go on, get out.
Policía, abre la puerta.
The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here.
Señora, no estoy... no estoy bromeando.
No, I already told you.
No
I
entendí.
won't go
Ya
check the
entré,
backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
Backyard door. There must be another entrance to the east. The door
Stop banging on the door!
Qué fuerte
No.
frío.
I already... Go check the
Ok,
backyard.
dice la
Backyard door.
llave detrás. Pero ya estuve atrás y no había ninguna, pues a la puerta no me da bola. Me voy a ver con el mensaje. ¿Qué tal,
You're
Joyce?
back. Good. What can I help you with?
¿Sabría decirme algo de nuestro tatuaje? Mostrarle la foto.
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
Entonces, ¿sabe algo de los tatuajes? ¿Por qué? ¿Qué hace con la foto del
Better
hinchamiento?
not tie the fourth day to the backstay on this. I hope...
She wants to
Hablé con los
answer the
camineros de la
question.
rotonda.
Word has travelled, yes, but nothing of real substance has surfaced yet, I gather. Wild Pines has eyes on the intersection, but not ears.
Ok, tengo más preguntas sobre la
More
realidad.
lessons in basic reality? My favourite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
Ok, ya. ¿Qué es buscar algo fundamental?
What is all of this? The scent, the sound, the air.
¿Qué mundo es este?
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water.
¿Qué ve?
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough. There is a term of endearment they coined for it, in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included.
¿Qué término?
Elysium.
Elysium. Elysium, no necesita un término afectuoso.
It does. There are those who would call it hell.
¿Qué es el
A
infierno?
term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists.
Mucho me temo que todavía no pillo el concepto general.
You want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit. Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways.
De dentro y de lado, ¿qué forma tiene este mundo entonces?
We used to think it was a sphere, but that is beginning to look less and
What?
less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
ORG, Occident Revachol Grad.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona.
Una corona de brillo oscura, ¿de qué estás hablando?
Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
Oh.
A cold fear seeps into you.
Oh, Dios mío, espere, ¿qué me está contando?
You seem to be spooked. Please don't be.
La palidez, ¿a qué se refiere con lo de la corona?
They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness. I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound.
Me da a mí que una corona fracturada no va a unir a nadie.
You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it.
Oh, sí, que se
See,
disco.
everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities.
No entiendo lo del... Entonces el mundo está todo partido.
The cold seeps into you. The air is heavy with 80% humidity.
Gracias por el dato.
Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your
¿Y qué es la
sides.
palidez?
The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality. It is the opposite of reality.
Vale, pero ¿qué es una definición?
Okay. The pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the inter-islary mass.
¿Qué es una isla?
Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the pale.
Ya me perdí.
Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7. Windy, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, Insulinde.
Insulindia es...
An oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of
Antártida.
water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say? Each is perishing and dear.
Ok, Mundi la más grande es Asia, Katla la más fría... Europa... Insulindia la más azul... Oceanía. ¿Cómo es la palidez?
Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
Es el estado de transición entre material y la nada, ¿no? Es un limbo. ¿Está aquí?
No, detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the Isla.
As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens up in your stomach.
¿A 6.000 kilómetros del fin del mundo?
Yes. That is enough. Many cities are built much closer.
¿Y ahí?
An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between the world and the pale is called porch collapse. Imagine a grey coronal mist. Cold vapor marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism. A mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest.
What is she talking about?
The most disco thing you will ever see.
You hear your pulse rise. The air feels caustic and cold suddenly.
Si estamos grabados de la palidez, ¿cómo se va de Isola a Isola?
Oh, it is so difficult for us. It is possible to force dimensions on the pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening
No,
the
sigo
path.
sin entender qué carajo es esto.
But it is still hard for humans to navigate the pale without getting lost or having our minds damaged.
¿Cuáles son sus cualidades físicas?
It's difficult to describe or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension, right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible.
¿Medianamente?
Extensively.
¿Cómo?
Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even.
The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
¿Cómo es
It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of pale exposure per year.
It's more for her. Way more.
¿Tenés un pasajero civil?
No, nameless detective of the citizens' militia. I am a member of the Entropanetic business class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of pale transit annually.
Someone else you've met may have been exposed as well. The strange grey-haired woman in her lorry.
Yes, carried in the hulls of airships. It's a horrific job. Automation will abolish it soon.
You should ask the pal driver about this. See what she says. That poor woman must have stories to tell, like you wouldn't imagine.
Up to my gills, officer.
An acidic smile on her lips. It's getting worse every year.
Entropanetics is the scientific study of the pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain. There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years. Nothing. We remain powerless before the pale. The only real advance in pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later. Hybrid airships, detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near pale to far pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end, if we throw them precisely. Then they don't. The pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping. What do you think, detective? Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists. Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same.
Off we go. You see the hanged man's mouth open.
One and all. They say pale is death, but for the universe.
Why should we just leave, and the world get left behind?
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything?
A veces siento vagas sombras de un pasado, lo cual no es nada bueno.
Then tell me, what do you think of the pale?
El hecho de que sigamos persistiendo es un testimonio de nuestra fe en los demás. Solo se puede tener su avance con un comunismo inmediato, total y despiadado. ¿Qué tiene que ver? Una poderosa fuerza anticomunista, quizá demasiado poderosa, pero aún así se lo tienen merecido. Pero no es que suena muy liberal. No sé cómo habéis sobrevivido a ella, es un gran logro. Jugar con toda la vida, es muy disco. Lleva razón, es muy disco.
Your ailing constitution, sweaty forehead, the beads there, and your heavy breathing.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, detective. If you don't know even this, then...
Esta investigación será mi obra maestra, aquello por lo que me recordarán, lo prometo.
I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile...
Some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here.
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
Eso es todo por el momento.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know.
Pues estuve haciendo con Nebra de nuevo.
She's not even asking you anything. It's so easy to just say.
El señor Everett me está ayudando a encontrar mi arma. Me pidió que abriera una puerta. Me pidió que tengo que usar, ok. Me está ayudando a encontrar mi arma.
Oh. That's so helpful. Oh, so very, very helpful. And how is that going? Do you have any leads on that gun?
No.
Well, maybe he's not as helpful as you thought then. Is there anything else?
Me pidió que abriera una puerta.
A referral, you mean? I take it this was for someone in the RCM. Don't answer that.
No, una puerta de verdad, la puerta de la casa de
Oh
alguien.
my. A real door.
Ayúdame a entrar a alguien por petición del señor Clerk.
My. What I'm hearing is you inspected a premises because you suspected that it was involved in the narcotics trade. And in the process, you turned up some information relevant to your investigation. Only from Efrat, surprisingly.
Era militante del sindicato organizó el linchamiento. Ahora dice que igual país también mercenarios hacia el sindicato y ahora uno está muerto. Él pidió hablarle al militante del sindicato que cooperara plenamente con la investigación. No parecía para nada preocupado por todo el conflicto que está desarrollando. El militante del sindicato organizó el linchamiento.
Yes, that's the talk about town. The Hardy Boys, they're called. Find the name rather amusing, honestly.
Everett dice que igual país envió mercenarios hacia el sindicato y ahora uno está muerto.
The company did not send mercenaries after the Union. I told you in great detail about the mistakes my side made. And of course, I accept them completely. I just hope you don't share Everart's view on things. After all, as he said, one's dead now. The Pines certainly hasn't killed any of theirs.
Look who's defensive suddenly.
Everett pidió hablarle al militante del sindicato que cooperara plenamente con la investigación.
How benevolent. Hopefully they'll help you sort this whole business out, if they haven't already. Well, I hope it yields something. Otherwise you'll have opened that door for naught. Anything else?
No parecía para nada preocupado por todo el conflicto que se está desarrollando.
I wouldn't have taken Everard for a saber rattler. Was he surrounded by Union men he wanted to impress?
Estábamos solos y parece que muy seguro de su capacidad para tener las cosas bajo control. No estaba tratando de presionar a nadie, creo que no quiere que las cosas se intensifiquen. Tiene razón, probablemente solo estaba más para él de menor. Creo que quiere que las cosas se intensifiquen.
Or he wants you and me to believe he wants to go to war.
Puedo que me estuviera manipulando.
I'll think it over, Detective. Thank you for relaying this information to me.
This gave her pause. She's pensive, suddenly. Hard to say about what.
What you've said is quite enough. You've given me a lot to consider, and may have helped me prevent this conflict from escalating.
Hear that, Hera? Feels good, doesn't it? You should relay confidential information more often.
Sounds like he has you running errands, Detective. A well-established dominance ritual. Where did he have you deliver it? Ah, yes. I've been meaning to go there.
With longing. Clear and simple longing. Strange. Why does she want to go there?
I should be. In my youth, I had a brief dalliance here in Martinez. He was an older man with impossibly broad shoulders. He's probably dead by now. Even his shack is long gone. Not that it matters. These buildings are all carbon copies of one another. Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had boats and... Don't hold it against me. My paramour certainly did not. Not overly so. It's not like this was the only place we visited. Me and my girlfriends from Azon with our shiny boats. Like reavers. We told ourselves we were the worst thing to happen to the coast since the Coalition landed in '08. Imagine.
Oh no, she's sentimental, all right.
I'm over-radiated, Detective. I do silly things sometimes, out of Pale-related sickness. Like take this job. The moral of the story is, do not spend 22 days a year in Pale transit. Don't waste your 20s slumming it with your stupid friends. And don't deliver Everard Clare's mail.
Okay.
Are you satisfied, Detective? What else can you tell me about your mail delivery quest for Everard? Do you think it will improve the place?
She's pointing it quite hard in there. Feels like a knife.
Quiere construir un centro juvenil aquí para los niños Martínez.
A youth centre with Edgar Clare's statue on top of it. Go ahead. Help him. Make it so. I have no power to stop him.
Así que le entristece no poder comprar el lugar.
Yes. I'm sad I'll never have the time, Detective. I've always wanted a dilapidating fishing village. Full of ghosts and ancient memories. Has this errand yielded you any information?
No. Prefiero hablar de otra cosa, si no importa.
Of course, Detective. You can always drop by later, should something come up. Now, what else can I do for you?
Okay, los
That's
tatuajes.
the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
Entonces hago los
Better
tatuajes.
not tie the forestay to the backstay.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
Ok, y no se me acuerdo qué más tenía que hacer para el linchamiento entonces. Eso es todo por ahora. Split the corpse. Hasta el precio vamos a mejorar. Dañado. No me acuerdo dónde era esto. ¿Qué bajas tanto? ¿Se cagó? Ganar Nux. Caja con gafas de sol. Tommy Lehom. Barra de pesas. Ok. Eso tengo que cerrar la exclusiva. A ver, puedo hacer algo con esto entonces.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
Sigue siendo muy difícil, igual el 3%.
Yeah.
Puse de vuelta. Esta debería ser la... No puedo hacer nada tampoco en esta puerta. No tengo puesto el... Sí, tengo puesto esto porque no me deja hacer nada.
I can't get involved in this.
Señor, deja de entrar, a ver.
You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
¿Por qué eso? ¿Te das cuenta que sos sospechoso como si yo estuvieras en problemas? Tranquilo que no los has encontrado, solo quiero saber qué se cuece por estos lares.
I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
Entonces, pues la gendarmería necesita hablar
Is it
contigo.
really that important?
Like a nervous cat, he keeps stealing looks at the neighboring windows.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run.
¿Tienes alguna visión del patio de Whirling? ¿Hay algo que puedas decir acerca del alojamiento?
I can tell that you finally got him down. Thank you. It was quite a disturbing sight, even by Martinez standards.
¿Qué hiciste el pasado domingo?
You already asked me that, didn't you?
Estoy bastante seguro que
No, not you. Some more muscular type.
¿Policía?
I couldn't tell you. We don't usually see much of the gendarmerie around here.
¿Cuándo fue?
Last week? I don't know. Look.
Aún no has respondido a mi pregunta. ¿Qué estuviste haciendo el domingo pasado?
I had a friend over.
¿Qué clase de
It was
amigo?
my Sunday friend.
Ah, ok.
A Sunday friend. How intriguing.
Y era homosexual.
Makes sense. Friends are nice on Sunday. You don't have to work. You can just spend time with pals, watching rugby and drinking beer.
No te das cuenta, ¿no? ¿Cómo se llama tu amigo? ¿Por si algo?
He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. In the neighboring windows, you can see faint reflections of his silhouette, all from different angles.
No creo que te estés espiando.
Someone hides behind a curtain. Those windows have eyes, and those eyes are watching, spying on you too.
¿Me dice cómo te llamas?
My name? My name is Martin Martinez.
Ah, sí, sí.
Martin Martinez? Good local name. Let's go with that.
No me voy a preparar para este sitio. Ay, fallé.
No. We won't. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
Convencer que se quede.
This isn't the place or time for questions. Who knows who might be watching from the distance, hidden behind the curtains.
O sea, mire, intento hacer las cosas bien. ¿No podemos vernos en otro sitio?
For a moment, the man on the balcony seems almost vulnerable. Something moves in the depths of his feline eyes, compassion, and a hint of understanding.
I am sorry, but I really don't have the information you're looking for.
But, hold on, what's that? For a split second, his hand lingers, as though gesturing towards a stone placed right next to the front door. It's a sign.
Good luck with the investigation.
Gracias, señor. Esa piedrita.
A stone, like any other, lying in a whirl of sleet and mud. Maybe there's a key beneath it.
Por la
Rust.
ese sitio. Nice. Ok. Aviso de desahucio y mascotas desaparecidas para uno encima de otro. Au. Lentes. Gafas zapatillas y el auditor. Esta caja está llena de productos químicos de limpieza. Huele a detergente para la ropa. Un viejo banco de zapatero y botas, zapatillas y pantuflas viejas. Guardando uno de los aparatos sobre el que prende el interior. Casi dan miedo. ¿Qué? ¿En serio? Baño. Los guardianes de lucha están cubiertos de una sustancia viscosa. Plata. Un poco igual. No tiene nada. Qué buena música en esta área. ¿Por qué? Alguien dibujó una serie de 5 puntas en la pared. Ah, la típica.
This
sí.
door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says, number 11. No reply. No reply. It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. A solid pair of chain cutters would make short work of it. Better whip out those cutters. You won't get very far otherwise. This door has been closed with a padlock. This door has been closed with a padlock. What are you doing? You're trying to cut the body of the lock with the chain cutters, and it's really not working.
Bro, en serio, ¿cómo vas a fallar eso? Eso es pelotudo. Una postal, calle Bouguer. Número 9 está cerrada. Número 10.
You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the walking stops abruptly, but no one comes to the door. You can feel tension on the other side. A poor communard from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet.
Do I have to open the door? Do you have a warrant? I'm not obligated to open the door if you don't have a warrant.
No.
A poor communard.
Do you have a warrant?
No. Yo quería visitar nomás, che. Qué mala onda. Ok, cajita. Oh, platita. Hello. Número 8, voy a intentar usar. Tiene un pelotón de funcionamiento para los ricos. Ah, se me abre con... cajitas. Nice. Para reciclar. Botella. Otra cajita aquí. Arriba las nuevas se retiran con el viento, los martillos están olvidados y los clavos de oxígeno. Las nuevas acciones no puedes entrar. A ver, vamos a sacar a esta persona.
The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
Bueno, las cacho, ¿quién eres?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
Hepatitis C, ¿cómo te explican por última vez?
Had a battery of tests just last week. I'm practically a patchwork of interesting critters. Kinda like a man-o'-war.
She's grown frustrated with her work and welcomes the opportunity to challenge authority in other ways. That smell coming from her paint bucket, it's not paint, it's heavy fuel oil.
¿Qué estás haciendo el muro?
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit.
Pues sí.
I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
Deme un momento, mi lámpara está... What? ¿Por qué me decís que fui a revisar mi fucking lámpara? Estaba tintineando el poco, no sé por qué. O sea que no sabes qué escribir.
Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio?
No, la verdad que no.
When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home, and Mona was here. We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cabs. And my name's not Mona, so...
She wants it to be something true and total.
This place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire to break up the tedium.
Este tipo quiere caos.
I
Qué buena
thought
onda.
I'd mix it up, you know. Summon the forces of crime and social chaos with a wall-sized invitation.
¿Qué es algo que piensas?
Yeah?
No vas a este callejero. Sí, con tu rollo no te preocupes por mí.
Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
You've lessened her desire to deface the building.
Oh, ¿en serio? Deja de mirar el reloj. ¿Qué estás
The
haciendo?
lieutenant is desperately searching for another handkerchief.
Calma, Joyce.
Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her. On a first-name basis with her, are we? Piggy's moving up in the world. Have you got a crush on her? Aching for an opportunity to Can't you I haven't really... Yeah? What are you gonna do? Throw me off the balcony? I'm unstoppable.
I don't condone the idea of using physical force on her. She's a girl.
La típica.
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
Así que no vas a hablar de asesinato, pero quizás sí puedas decirme algo sobre la armadura espacial, ¿viste?
What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells?
¿Acaso la armadura no es arte? ¿Arte para el cuerpo?
Ugh, alright. Sad piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military-grade handwear.
Y la pendeja,
Looked
entonces,
cute
¿uno
as
es?
hell. If you haven't been there, the village is a shithole down the coast from the main plaza. Have a good time.
¿Y hay una niña que lleva los guantes?
No. That's all the snitching Cindy the Skull does for today. Actually, I don't even know why I told you what I just told you.
Porque seguramente te
I
caigo
have a
bien.
weakness for animals. It's the animal thing again. Damn it.
¿Eso es un polio pesado?
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? This shit is pumped out of government vehicles.
She did it herself. Pumped it out. She's proud of it too.
Esto debe ser ilegal.
Cite me the statute that says you can't paint murals with fuel oil, and I promise I'll cease and desist.
Sí, claro. No me lo sé.
Watch your back, Ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
Gracias. ¿Y esto? Platita, nice. Thank you. Un pantalón. Suficiente carbón para aguantar los inviernos. Huele a productos químicos. ¿Acá vivís vos, pendeja? Alguien ha dormido aquí recientemente. ¿Por qué acá vive la pendeja esta? Damn.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
La cama de la carbonera es tuya.
Ooh. Not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
¿En serio es minera? Usted es una obra, ¿verdad? No sé lo que me agrada, pero supongo que cumplirá su cometido. ¿En serio es minera?
Yes. I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me. But somehow, it never happens.
¿No tienes un hogar de verdad?
Does anyone in a city like this?
Ella tiene razón.
If there's pain about any particular home she's lost, she's buried it deep, fortified herself against it.
No es un lugar muy agradable, pero supongo que cumplió su cometido.
It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Like me. Right now, I'm doing nothing at all.
Ok, me gustaría estar de todas formas.
Shoot, Piggy. It's what you do, isn't it?
No me lo gusta a mí. back here. No te desembarco por la sesión de inmobiliarias de Martínez.
A shift in temperature. The air chills around you. Dust settles on the stony floor. A former architect stands before a slice of window, a room plan in her hand. A cold wave has made the air in the building stand still and frozen, with temperatures falling down to -20 degrees Celsius. Is red from the cold. She's breathing on her fingers, clasping the plan. Traces of sadness are visible in faint pencil lines on paper depict the same place, but a missing eastern wall connects the room with the neighboring apartment. Ideas for arranging the furniture have been jotted down. It's clean and empty, with new tapestry embellishing the walls. A standard HB graphite pencil has fallen off a three-legged stool in the middle of the room.
Interesante. Algunos cheques y no deja lista la compra. Ok, thank you. Ah, no le cuesta viejita, a ver.
Give me a moment.
Ah, la señorita, cierto.
The cold never does any good for my bronchitis.
Pobrecita, tiene bronquitis.
This woman's health is failing her. There's not much to do. Not in this damp.
¿Está todo bien que llame un médico?
I'm fine. Fine. Don't you worry about me.
Se va a morir.
You're still worried. It's very worrying.
Now, what do you want from me, policeman?
Busca Martín Martínez.
Oh, you'll find plenty of Martins here. Don't you worry.
No entiende, busca una persona de verdad llamada Martín Martínez. Bueno, me dijo que se llama Martín Martínez.
Pea-brain. Someone played a trick on you. Martin Martinez is a name for anyone who comes from Martinez, like Jim Jambrock or Raoul Ravachol.
Oops. You really didn't get the joke there.
¿Qué me dice un joven delicado de unos 25 años y de pelo oscuro? Estaba fumando en el balcón. ¿Sabe dónde vive?
Yes, yes. I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right?
Que mira como el diablo, que fuma como el diablo, dijo.
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show and someone taking a shower.
What's he in trouble for?
Ninguno, solo quiero hablar con él. ¿Sabe dónde vive? Nemo, se busca por asesinato, va a pasarse el resto de su vida a la sombra.
Talk? He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there. He's usually home in the evening.
Suele estar en casa por la noche. Piensa que voy a coger con él. Me gustaría hacer unas preguntas sobre esa parte. ¿Quién es usted?
I'm no one. Just an old woman who cleans these hallways.
¿Y de aquí?
If you can call it living. I have a little room upstairs right next to the coal room. It's barely bigger than a closet. But I don't complain, no. I have my bed and my aching bones to keep me company. And that's all I need from this world.
And all she gets, too. The coastal wind beats down hard on the cold room door outside. Splashes of waves make the balcony.
Ask away, policeman.
¿Sabe quién vivía en el apartamento embarcado?
The hell am I supposed to know? Another nut job, I assume.
She really doesn't like those nut jobs. Bad blood.
¿Por qué hay un agujero en la pared del apartamento abandonado?
Some lunatic lost his mind. All kinds of morons pass through these halls.
With how small these rooms are, Wouldn't you want to break the wall down?
Eso es cierto. Está de vacaciones uno de los agentes, su buzón está de WhatsApp.
People come and go. I don't keep an eye on everyone.
¿Quién vive en el 10?
No one lives there. It's been empty for months.
Pero si acabo de hablar con alguien detrás de la puerta.
Impossible. I would know if someone had moved in there. Maybe it's those countercultural people again. Breaking into a house like it's a public space. You're a policeman. Be good and take a look, will you?
Claro.
Great. Young people. They're worse than rats. You know, always littering the hallways with trinkets and empty beer cans.
¿Quién vive en el apartamento que tiene un candado en la puerta?
Oh, that one is a scientist, a future scholar. I think he studies astrology at the community college.
Este no es
Education's good. I always tell them to
No,
study.
astrología no.
Something to do with all those stars around his door. He asked me to leave his drawings up on the wall.
¿Seguro no quieres decir astronomía?
That's what I said. Astrology.
Son diferentes. ¿Qué puedes decir sobre Cindy?
The artiste? Nothing I can do about her, I'm afraid. She ruins the walls faster than I can clean them. Still, she leaves an old lady to her business. More than I can say for others.
Eso es todo.
She mumbles some kind of a response, then hacks something into her handkerchief.
Gracias, me voy. Ok. Ok, ahora puedo entrar por acá. A ver, apartamento 10.
You hear someone
Debo tener
walking
lista el
around
producto de esta
inside.
vacío. Por sola entrada.
Excuse me? Of course not.
Scare them. Suspected of some big crime. There's no sweet talking your way in there. Be official.
¿Estás sintetizando morfina ahí adentro? No necesito una orden si sospecho que hay un allanamiento.
Oh, come on.
¿En serio? Ah, me abrió, ok. ¿Y estos tipos de traje? LOL, ¿en serio me puedo llevar los zapatos? Parece un buen colchón. Cumpliste mi deseo de razón por la caja de ayudarte. LOL. ¿Por qué no?
Satisfied? My name is Marielle Charpentier, and I'm an agent with Martinez Realty Associates. I am not breaking in, as I have every right to be here. The keys, see?
Dios, la cara de esta tipa.
Her voice is really cheerful, despite her obviously hating you.
Do you want to see my ID as well? You can't legally ask for it, but why not? Want to see my residence permit too?
It feels flimsy in hand, with the words Revachol Zone of Control written under a nondescript municipal logo. There's a picture of her with shorter hair inside, along with all be friendly.
Thank you. Do you have any questions? I need to be back in Midtown in an hour.
¿Qué está haciendo aquí?
I need to get it ready for the next lease, but as you can see, the previous tenant completely trashed the place.
Eso es cierto. Parece que sabían cómo montar una buena. ¿Quién vivía aquí?
It was some kind of a moribund old man who used to be a business owner. You'd think they'd make rent.
A sudden serious look crosses her face. This story didn't have a happy ending.
But that was months ago. Anyway, was there anything you wanted, or is that it? I'm in a hurry.
¿Quién vivía en el apartamento marcado al final del pasillo?
Oh, that's another huge mess. The former tenant owes us 3 months of rent. 3. We closed the apartment and planned on auctioning off the valuables, but... And again, I have no idea how stupid mistakes like this can even happen. But Ron, when he came to close the door, didn't close the neighboring door. And there's a hole in the wall.
Claro, se quiso quedar con otra cosa.
A hole in the wall. Can you believe it? And then the tenant ran off with his stuff. He's gone. The money's gone. Just like that.
Oh, it irks her. The incompetence.
No sería mucho dinero. Este sitio parece bastante zarapastroso.
These apartments are perfectly fine. They have gorgeous architecture, a million-real view of the bay, good ventilation, neighbors, life, spark, and they are affordable. I'll tell you, Martinez has a future. In a few years, it's going to blossom with artists and creatives and those radio computer wizards.
It's as if they're real wizards, able to resurrect dead real estate and breathe life into bank accounts.
Creo que mi dinero también ha desaparecido.
Well, it does not disappear from my hands. No, I don't let it.
Pero entonces, ¿qué pasa con la pared?
Don't ask me what happened with the wall. I have no idea how we're going to find the time or resources to fix it. Both apartments are now unrentable. Both.
Eso es todo.
Of course.
¿En serio quería que me fuera?
What now?
Nada.
Of course.
Encuentro los guantes. Ahora el balcón. Listo, ya olvidaron, señorita, ¿no vas?
Give me a moment.
Llegaste a la catacultura en el apartamento número 10. Era un agente inmobiliario preparando la habitación para los nuevos inquilinos.
I see. I hope some good people are finally going to move in. This place needs them.
Si los magos de las computadoras están de camino, vienen a salvar este sitio y la economía. No vendrá nadie, no habrá más que de miseria hasta que empecemos a liquidar a agentes inmobiliarios. Mujeres de moral cuestionable y pervertidos sexuales. Eso es lo que se nos viene encima. Escupir. Estoy seguro de que todo irá bien. Este edificio tan solo necesita pequeños cambios, lentos pero seguros. La parte de escupir sería cómica porque pobre mujer acaba de limpiar. Eso malo de las computadoras también es estúpidamente gracioso. Las tres estas son graciosas, la verdad. Pero creo que escupir sería como bien de pelotudo.
I know those types, yes. There have been some here, but they never make their rent, so they have to move out. I know their type.
She appreciates your effort to curb the deviantry and laxness.
Pensé que iban a acceder más por la parte de escupir. Alright. Vamos al balcón. Ok, aquí. Dinerillo. El cuadro eléctrico está en el colegio de canales eléctricos. Ajá. Uy, aquí. Más plata, vale. Otra puerta. No hay nada de interés. En esta cultiva de romero también lleva un cactus. Okay. Está la puerta del apartamento número 30. Desde interior se oyen voces cantando la canción de baile bollante. Esta es la puerta del 29. Oh, hay otro punto. ¿Qué podía mejorar yo? Conectividad. Sí, totalmente en casa. A ver si puedo mejorar, abrir esa puerta ahora. Esta era, creo.
This door has been closed with a padlock.
Herramientas. Aquí.
This door has been closed with a padlock. But
¿En
what are
serio?
you doing? You're trying to cut the body of the lock with the chain cutters, and it's really not working.
Bro, en serio. 58% me dicen que no. Jate de joder. Dámela.
This door has been closed with a... What are you?
Bro, no seas puto.
This door has been closed with a... The shackle snaps like a twig, and the lock falls to the floor with a little thud. It should be possible to enter now.
Jesus, ¿qué hay acá? Ah, pensé que era más grande. Está limpio. Un extravagante póster con una estrella blanca. Es una litografía auténtica. Y libros de teoría crítica sobre los engendros del capital y las cosas por el estilo. Fotos de unos revolucionarios posando con sus armas. ¡Qué chiquito!
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads Kraz Marzov.
Karl Marx?
Seems like a good guy, judging by the moustache. By the way, doesn't he kind of look like you?
Si vos lo decís, navegador. Vale 9 milímetros. Ok, interesante. ¿Para qué quiero una bala? Allí hay algo, pero no puedo acceder acá todavía. Acá esta puerta puede interactuar. No me deja pasar. Fuck.
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security. Number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony lives. No one answers. Looks like he isn't home. You should come back tomorrow evening, after 2100.
Entendible. No fue a buscar nunca la mierda esa. Alright. Acá había algo. La casa del pelotudo. Creo que no puedo llegar. A ver, niña. ¿Vos no ves, no? No.
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
Los impulsos artísticos de Cindy son contagiosos.
Yeah. Why?
¿De dónde me sale?
Just an ordinary wall.
Vamos a hacer la cruza esa. Voy a hacer consecuencias estas. Tenía que haber cosas para volver a intentar.
Officer! God damn it. Pull yourself together, Rene. What do you want?
¿Qué tiene este viejo soldado que le hace sentirse tan orgulloso? Oh, fallé.
Still, all you see is an old soldier refusing to replace his uniform.
Anything else I can assist you with, officer? We still have a game to finish.
Entiendo que la tal Jean Marie significa mucho para
There's
usted.
nothing for you to understand here. It is not her death you are investigating.
¿Dónde se tomó esta foto?
Reversal Fair of 91 in the Thorberg district. A parade was held to honor Guillaume Le Lion's name day, and the Carabineers marched in the place of
Parecen
honor.
felices en la foto. Estamos muy sonrientes.
This was the happiest day of my life.
¿Las circunstancias de su muerte fueron de alguna manera insensuales?
Absolutely not. She died of pneumonia in her bed at the age of 79. This is highly usual.
¿Qué pasa entre usted, Gaston y Jean-Marie?
I was 22 when I returned from King Guillaume's Akira operation in the south and found my sweetheart in the arms of this wretch. I won her back, but while I was dealing with some issues...
You were like a dark cloud sucking the joy out of every living thing around you. And you hurt her.
Dark cloud. That sounds unpleasantly familiar.
Yes.
Those days and memories are gone.
The old soldier says nothing, but when his glance quickly runs over Gaston's face, there's an odd look in his eyes.
Gracias por su tiempo.
It is such a pleasure to see you again, officer. How may I head the citizens' militia on this fine day?
¿Qué van a preguntarse?
Sure, officer. They are the good guys around here. What do you need? Writing? Oh, not...
Well, he tells his little pen man exactly what to say. It's commie propaganda, plain and simple. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yo mismo hago alguna que otra cosilla para hablar. Caballero, no vayamos por las ramas. Yo mismo hago alguna otra cosilla para hablar y nada de qué malo en ello. También hago para hablar, me siento sucio. Y me siento usado, así que sí.
That's just the way things work around here. No reason to feel bad about it. Thank you, officer. Sweet, sweet Jenny. We knew her. All right. Lived on the same street our entire lives, just 2 houses apart. The 3 of us have been best friends since we were 4. She was René's first girl, back when the prick was 16. They were courting till he decided he'd rather die for some great ideal than just be happy.
And then you stole her from me.
No intervenir. Hasta que muchos niños que decía que esto se ponga feo. No intervenir.
Well, technically, you stole her from me, because we'd been pretty close ever since you two had that falling out over the ink you spilled over her pretty yellow dress.
We were just boys then. This was different. You... No point starting this all over again. For the 1000th and the first time. Especially when we have company.
Of course, officer. Memories are all we have left.
Comenzar a Gastón para que me des un sándwich. Vamos.
A man so principled about his sandwich calls for a principled approach. Time to get political.
¿Qué es político?
This right here is political.
Esta ciudad se va a la mierda. Tarde o temprano algún artista extranjero vendrá a robarle el sándwich. Es un hecho.
I don't think that's gonna happen. Why would you even...
Primero quitar el trabajo, no a las mujeres y con el sándwich es lo único que queda. Los anarquistas también vendrán por él.
He won't care. As long as there's food in his fat belly, he'll lick any boots that's kicking it to him.
Good. René's on board too. Time to take back the streets. Right-wing populism. Here we come.
¿No lo entienden, señores? Nosotros los de aquí tenemos que hacer piña, tenemos que hacer que la gente vuelva a sentirse segura. Caballero nos llama, nos necesita. No mañana, no pronto, sino ahora mismo. Recuperemos nuestro hogar.
Now you are talking sense, son. All 3 of us working as a group. We can make a difference.
Whatever you're selling there, he's buying it. In bulk.
Caballeros, Revisemos y posiblemente distribuyamos nuestros recursos.
What do you mean, officer?
Ignore him. You are addressing the entire group now.
Seré unidad 1, perro fantasma, y usted y Gastón serán unidad 2, los abuesos reales.
Agreed. What about the whole group? I propose a pair de la couronne, swords of the crown, in honor.
Oh
Una
my
revolución, ¿en
God.
serio?
Stop this scheming and just demand the sandwich.
No, eso es muy de vieja escuela. ¿Qué tal? Tiene clase, raíces, me gusta. Alto, solo quiero el sándwich, démelo. Tiene clase, raíces, me gusta.
It's dignified. We need dignity. And you, get excited.
His tone leaves no room for arguments. Giving orders is a second skin to the old carabiner.
All right, all right. I have a bad feeling about this.
Bien, ahora que está resuelto. ¡Deme ese sándwich! Solo una cosa más, su sándwich. Quiero someterlo. Quiero sostener un segundo. Está bien, Gastón. Ahora, por favor, tan solo deme el sándwich. Ahí están jugando a la pelotita eso. Deme ese sándwich.
Oh, you went through all that trouble for my sandwich. I'm flattered, officer, but my answer is no. Now, how else can I help you?
Hijo de puta, no quiere dejar el fucking sándwich.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffiti, but the documents inside the envelope still lack the required signature.
Cierto. No me acuerdo de que ir a firmar eso. Ok, vamos a descruzar más. ¿Y esta gente?
A rusting control panel with loose wires dangling out from the hole where an indicator light. You grab the handle and pull the lever up. As soon as the metal connects against the contact pins, you hear a loud clunk. The water lock starts moving.
Encontré una nueva área, genial. Viola. Monedas. El relé de radio retomó con electricidad. Uy, aquí hay cosas. También se abandonan más allá de la verga. Manetes. Grande para prohibir el paso, pero hay que mantener esta chimpaquilla. ¿Qué acá? No encuentro el tío que inventar todo el radio. ¿Habrá algo dentro? Oh, sí, nice. Thank you, game. ¿Por qué? Muy mal. Hay una otra valla y el hambre de espino. ¿Decía el hambre de púa? Más dinero. Esto es recontra destruido. El edificio de 4 pisos corre en el viento alrededor de este parque. Falta de columpio, hace mucho que aquí no estaba nadie. Me puedo notar. Alguien dejó su colección de música bajo la luz. Cintas Morris Church en el Sunset. Ah, mira. Fantástico, gracias. Es visible los fantasmas que somos. ¿Nada en esta casa? No, no hay nada. Che, está la música del menú, creo.
Rust peels off the bent iron posts of the swing. The wind whistles through the skeleton of the small house behind you. There's desolation everywhere.
¿Qué pasa?
In this yard, someone thought they could have a summer house on the beach for cheap. It didn't work out. Looks like they abandoned it.
10 años.
A long time ago, someone used to live here, laugh here, thought it was a good idea to build a swing even. An intense loneliness comes over you. This is a good place for a nice, sad drink. Uncork a velvety bottle of red wine and think about life for a moment. Really philosophize.
Eso es verdad.
The porter reel is just what you press the large button marked Commencer and the tape starts spinning. There's a small delay before the song starts playing.
Apretá el oído contra el altavoz.
It sounds like someone's moving in the room, getting comfortable. Then the organ starts playing a simple, melancholic tune, echoing in the hallway. A lone singing voice joins in, telling you about the tiniest church in Cessons, surrounded by even tinier yard. You almost feel the seaside mist on your skin. It's mega sad. Within seconds you know, this is the one. The real shit you've been looking for. The one you trust your room to. This one tells it like it is. This is your tune. A click, then silence for a bit. Then the tape stops spinning.
¿Podría cantar esto en el karaoke? Creo que podría cantar.
Of course you could sing this. You could take sad to a whole new level with this. And you already know the lyrics since you've listened to it like a million times. And the B-side of the tape contains the instrumental version. It's like the world itself is telling you to do it. Only one obstacle stands on your way.
What?
Gart. You have to convince Gart to let you sing karaoke in the whirling. After you've won him over, you can express yourself. Let the pain out. Make everyone understand.
Yes. This is going to be magnificent. ¿Por qué no me gusta? ¿Por qué no me dejan el clan maestro? Entonces no se me importa. Y no puedo filosofar entonces por la fucking colunque. Bro, me engañaron. ¿Dónde más puedo ir? Por aquí no. Creo que salir. Un bote. No, listo. Yo cliqué esto. La botella. Una puerta. ¿Qué hay aquí? Postal ciudad de carbón año 08. ¡Oh, un moño! Y la cuestión de habitaciones tiene que ser una silla oscura.
It's only a red chair. Just a red chair in an empty shack. With what looked like a dusty bow tie on the shelf. Nothing to see here, right?
Supongo. Si vuelvo a decir juego. Ahora tengo que quizás otro está... no sé, yo olvidado. Creo que la silla tiene importancia, che. No hay nada por acá. Parece que no. Acá están las casas, edificios. Sonidos de la vida en el norte, notable el haber limpio la suciedad de la tele. Los poldos carbonizados son hogueras utilizadas como revistas para alimentarlo. Los autos son demasiado oscuros y empiezan como para atravesarlos. Un banquito.
You sit on the wind-worn wooden planks of the bench. Your feet ache.
Jugar con juguita con los pulgares.
The twiddling barely keeps your hands warm against the frigid wind blowing from the coast. After a while, you've had enough.
Funny. ¿Qué hay acá? Pantalones. Empiezan a descubrirte de polvo y turpán sobre los secos sobre la cama. Cuando se abre que te blanca para que no se vea el interior. Una pega al final que te decir. Ah, mira, Fast Travel, ¿en serio? Tengo instrucción que experiencia con esta casa nos falta de prisa. Nice. Un delito, gracias. Niños.
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. He can't be more than 5 years old. The other one looks indistinguishable from him. He watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth. The kids don't reply. The stone-kicking one becomes frantic all of a sudden, as if that's something to be scared of. The obvious fact that you just stated.
He looks just like me.
Sí, eso he dicho.
The boy doesn't answer. His brother throws another rock.
No te cae que sea tu...
covered in some kind
¿Tienes
of
miedo
dirt.
de que sea tu gemelo o algo así?
The rock kicker was just being shy, but now he's enthusiastic again.
Adiós, niños, cuídense. Discriminado por los colores cálidos y confusos son hospitalarios. What is this? Estoy cálido y seguro, no como ahí afuera. Mira, un pájaro. Joder, ¿le robé un pájaro a una niña? ¿En serio? El especie de carbón dice carne con brillo anaranjado.
Hello, mister.
Pequeña Lily. ¿Por qué me metí en la casa de alguien?
She clutches a small stuffed animal. Occasionally, she twirls it around.
¿Qué es esto? Mostró debajo y te quedó que has cogido el techo.
It's a grouse.
You might be able to get on Gart's good side if you make up for the skua you broke.
Me lo puedo quedar, conozco a alguien a quien le encanta la pájaros y se caga.
Sure. I mean, you already took it. I don't like it anyway. It looks angry.
¿Me hablas de una niña que tiene una guanta de armadura? ¿Eres tú?
Oh, I had gloves. Very big ones. Heavy, too. Found them when Lemmy and I were playing hide and seek. In an empty house. Where no one lives. I think someone hid them there.
She doesn't want you to think she stole them.
I hid them. The twins were gonna take them. They're stupid. Why?
Necesito por una investigación policial súper importante.
Oh.
Transmití la parte importante.
They're in my sandcastle. Behind our house. Under the sand. You can break the castle. It's not very good. My mom's outside, and I don't really know about my dad.
Te echan la sonrisa brillante como si fuera algo bueno. Ok, ¿los gemelos que hay afuera son tus hermanos?
Yes. They don't want to play with me. They're older and play outside.
Poor niña.
They look the same. Sometimes I can't tell them apart.
Son idénticos, ¿verdad? Yo dije lo mismo.
They look identical.
¿Qué es lo que hizo que tienes en la mano?
It's Lammy. He's my friend. Sort of. Like...
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing, and the fur is tattered in several parts.
Parece que Lambie tenía de mejor. Lambie parece suave. Ah, vale, pues encantado conocerte, Lambie. Lambie parece suave.
Yes. Very soft.
Acaricia a Lambie con tu mejilla.
Isn't he soft?
Oh. Cute. Adiós.
Bye.
Qué bueno, los niños me aman, che. No genio que no tiene nada pinta. Váyase a ver. Castillo de arena. Acá, este castillo de iglesia.
Weather has not been kind to Lily's little sandcastle. The once mighty towers are quickly eroding away. You can see something shining back to you from what must have been a vast underground catacomb network. The walls and floors give way to the giant's greed, collapse and present you with a pair of ceramic gauntlets.
Nice. Pero yo quiero venderle pájaro, no quiero dárselo a Garte. Para, vamos a poner un poquito más acá. No hay nada. Uy, ¿esto? Acá. Thank you.
Winter, slow to let go of Rivershaw, flecks some more wet snow from above. The snow falls lazily, making the beach sand paler still, mixing with the rust-colored sewage runoff. And to think, it seemed as though it were already spring. The melting snow seeps through your thin clothes. Grandmothers don't let their grandchildren out dressed so lightly in this weather. At least your hair is protected from getting wet and sticking together. You look layer upon layer of sand, poisoned with industrial runoff, the storm drainage, hidden bunkers, rats scuttle.
Cuéntame un secreto de las arenas, viento.
Someone stuffed a big old polar anorak into a concrete pipe under the boardwalk. It would keep you warm. You will probably never happen across it, but who knows? More coalition aerostatics. Occasionally, lights flash as they maneuver through the falling snow. One large airship carries crates in its belly. The raised motorway, 881, separating Martinez from Jamrock. Vehicles whoosh past one another day and night, while those who reside in the labyrinthine alleyways beneath them was once a park, a place for reflection and recuperation for the patients of the old military hospital. In the 20s, it was used as a quarantine center. The pox is completely wild now. Evergreen thickets covered in snow and industrial dust. Feral dogs and even wolves roaming in packs. The police try to keep the deepest corners cordoned off. Heavy drug users do slip through and hole up in the old military hospital, hoping to find something to get high on. A line of motor garages with armored carapaces hunched in the cold. A mechanic is hard at work, patching up bullet holes in the side of a Capri 40. These are the garages of Precinct 41. Snow settles on the roof of the repurposed silk mill. It serves as your station. Shivering RCM personnel hurry in and out of the main entrance. Around you, the snow continues to fall. To the west, the ocean swells.
No, estaba en casa, quiero más.
The stairs descend to central Jamrock. A man named Cooklove has a snow-covered stall there in the market across the bridge. He sells kebab infested with fly larvae to your colleagues who believe eating it will make them immune to food poisoning. Snow falls on the utility district, the library, the florist, the Sarah Mauritian restaurant that offers homemade wine, and also on the brothels and drug dens, and the chop shops of the Zemniaki. All of this built around a lake that formed in a meteorite strike. At the center of this lake, there is a little ship. There are lights at the bottom of its hull. They are lights directed toward the seafloor, looking for something, like whiskers. A chill comes over you, crawling down your back. The sand under your feet is wet. Somewhere, more winding coastlines lined with abandoned buildings. Crumbling piers, salt water lapping at their dark piles. Grey and red forgotten city blocks. What remains of the pre-revolutionary effort to gentrify the coast. The waters turn black. Coal City in the shadow of San Martin. A boom town. Back when coal extracted from countless shafts near the city was needed to power Revachol. No more. The coal was supplanted by petroleum from the ocean floor and hydropower from the Esperance. Everything crumbled. These days, only the weakest remain in Coal City. Their hopes of getting rich linger in the defunct shafts under their feet. Below the old mines, l'Océan Municipal, Revachol's underground cemetery. Le Petit Rat braved the underground passageways, trying to get to Le Royaume, where the Philippian kings were interred, with their doctors and their admirals. Mausoleums, burial chambers, leaf gold still remains on the double door of the morning. Children under 14, they go underground looking for artifacts to sell to foreign museums, and for fabled relics. Their parents let them. They go deeper. After rubies, melchiorite, lapis lazuli, plundered from Safle and Seol during the time of the suzerain. In the burial chambers of the kings, grand old 2 kilometers underground, in a winding shaft along whose walls mirrors have been placed, so that daylight may eternally fall upon the richest of all. The mausoleum contains untold quantities of gold, and that special, purest of the pure magenta cocaine, favored by Revacholian royalty. Did someone say untold quantities of cocaine? Drop everything immediately and go looking for this hoard. Few Petit Rat return from the shafts. Even fewer find what they're looking for. A small child steps out of the black tunnel with silver trinkets in her pockets. All around her, white snow on the extinguished coke furnaces and on the weather-worn shacks where fathers beat their sons after drinking. The snow melts on your fingers, turning to water. The canal you crossed to get here and beyond it. Martinez proper, the district the police forgot to police. There is laughter, lights, attempts at entrepreneurial activity, cynicism. Someone is scraping snow off their windshield at the roundabout, in the midst of which a statue of Philip III serves as a destination for grade school field trips and a fine perch for winter birds. Like all monuments, it's also a warning. 6-story ruins on the south side of the roundabout cast a long shadow over the profligate king. A fenced-off yard. There's a truck belonging to a logistics company parked next to the gate. Bright light from a building behind the fence reflects the abandoned church, one of 2 remaining stave churches, which were collectively called Les Sept Sœurs. The other 6 sisters were destroyed during the revolution. A serpentine strip of land weaving its way into the Martinez Inlet. Unfortunates on the run from the law, from themselves, sometimes hide out on nearby islets. Little dots in the ocean that are occasionally submerged when the tide is high and the weather,
Yes,
the remains of a camp on a jagged piece of rock, a tent, old dishes and cutlery, long since abandoned. A hermit crab further out, the lights burn bright on Resurrection. Way beyond Martinez, a popular spa destination for ample-bodied Ozon kids. Then there's Ozon, but the snow falls too thick. You cannot see
Antes de eso, antes de que caigan las cortinas.
The Bay of Revachol. Vastness, great depth. Over 1,200 meters at its deepest. Water, air-brinier than here. It is crisscrossed by huge cargo ships bearing company logos. Wild pines, Zam, Mauryan, and at the farthest reaches of the Bay of Revachol, the shadow of the Coalition warship, Archer, on perpetual patrol duty, ready to unleash artillery fire if you were to rise up against the market. You shudder.
The
spring thaw will come in earnest, just not yet.
Cinemáticos de zona de trabajo motorizado con estos contratos. Y toca. Una letra que se llama Sut. Viaje rápido de bloquea de iglesia. ¿Qué hay acá? Oxidado. No tengo, no me aparece nada, boludo, what the fuck. Pero no me aparece ninguna opción. ¿Qué más hay? Acá estaba la iglesia, que está totalmente abandonada. Un banco de peces se apiña en torno al puente de la valla. Pasa y pasa el video. Si un puente lo veis, entonces se puede bajar del otro lado. Creo que viene esta casa. Este tipo. Esto debe requerir mucha paciencia. Apiló piedras. Pintado con todos los paseos intentando alegrar el mundo. Pasó alguna fiesta interminable. Una barra clavada de que mantiene la tienda vida. Vamos a castigar este puesto está comiendo pequeños humanoides.
A pane of Eternite has been planted into the snow, too barely holding it up. It could fall over any minute. A stronger gust of wind might... Looks like a makeshift bridge. The pane falls into the icy snow with a soft thunk.
Thank you. Ese es el segundo hogar de alguien como el tuyo.
The tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open. Inside, 3 young men are listening to some new form of music. It's like nothing you've ever heard. One of them looks at you.
Come on, get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out.
It's safe to assume this is their leader, or at least he thinks he is.
Esto es carta de Henry, ¿por qué no? ¿Y esto qué es? El invito yo de lo que pasa es agua, tiene que poner estirada. Un altavoz de los que usan para música en directo.
A young man with peroxide blonde hair holds up a Harman Welshi tape player, nodding along to the music. He looks at you with a knowing smile and says, as though you're supposed to be sharing some tremendous evangelical secret.
Hardcore! Hardcore!
Sí, sí, sí.
Hardcore to the mega!
Okay.
Here comes the night!
Could there have been a right way out of this garden of forking paths, you think?
What is this?
Go speak to Andre. I'm just annoyed.
Y si quiero hablar contigo primero.
I suck at socializing, man. If you go speak to Andre, I'll have time to tune in.
Sintonizar con tu sinusoide.
Your sign.
Ay, Dios.
Maybe you should just stand there, watch him rattle his toolbox. Get to know his sign. The contents of the young man's toolbox are organized in a neat yet eclectic manner. He is constantly checking out the various tools and parts and rearranging them slightly. It's a bit hypnotizing if you look at it long enough.
I have all kinds of screws. These are my consumer items and my means of production. I enjoy them. Talk to Andre. No point in standing here. The signs are really out of tune.
You see a youngish man bleaching the tips of his hair with a toothbrush. He puts the toothbrush down and extends his hand in greeting.
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
His grip is strong, sweaty, and warm. He's trying to project and inspire confidence.
This is my posse, Noid.
The young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously.
And Egghead. Egg! Together with a Settle Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation, we like to think of ourselves as music venue organisers. We have many in the pipeline, officer. You see, we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish a new venue in.
Also for talent.
Yeah, thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the real estate part.
Place is a shithole.
I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues.
La próxima vez te la molestamos con jabón. No hay por qué disculparse, la verdad que... Tengo que con jabón de divertida.
I will, lawman.
Which brings me to the problem of occupied ecclesiastical property. I bet you've noticed the derelict hive of narcomania on the coast.
Sí.
An attempt to pander to your perceived conservative sensibilities. No person his age would ever use a word like narcomania with a straight face. Don't fall for it.
I'm talking about the church, and I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge can become a magnet for all sorts of dopeheads and burnouts if left unattended.
Dopeheads! Burnouts!
Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on the map with one of the maddest dance clubs in Jamrock. Nah, strike that, in Reversholt.
Strike that! The word!
And sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts hold up in there with the worst kind.
He leans back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze, letting you imagine just how bad those dopeheads and burnouts really are.
No te le de narcomanos de ningún tipo, nada de narcomanos, semi-guardia, se fue la cabeza con gravedad.
Yes, yes, and the worst part is, they're also spooky.
Harto refresco de espeluznante.
I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is, their spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring this church into a community centre and a place of spiritual refuge.
Este chabón no habla como yo me lo hubiera imaginado.
Also, they don't eat or clean the building. Shit's gonna collapse. People just want to spin tapes without them spooking it up. Place has bad signs. No one can dance like that. Thank you, Egghead. So you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter. Getting them out. Whatever spooky stuff they're doing, I'm sure it's not what the Ecclesiastes meant their property for. All right, man.
Andre's obviously very happy you took him seriously. The whole tent is.
I asked Noid to install a measure against more drifters wandering in. A padlock. It's a temporary fix. Just something to contain the situation. I had to do it in an hurry. Not my best work, but it should have. Of course. Noid, give the officer the key. All right.
Ser un poliway y pillarle la llave al vuelo.
You sense the trajectory of the little piece of metal and plastic. The object makes a small ringing sound as it approaches. Just the tiniest chime to your left. Ka-ching! The key hits your palm. The speed freaks nod to you approvingly. The young man with ribcage-shaped suspenders looks at you, standing there, with a goofy grin on your face. The word august, used as an adjective. That's how cool it feels to be old and cool in the eyes of the young. Let's face it, you're near death, yet bathed in the golden rays of stately grandeur. Like a late summer's day. Like a daddy-o. Like a tequila sunset. Just felt right. Why? Do you want to be a tequila sunrise? Isn't it too late for that?
Not long. Like a week, maybe?
Una semana. Seguro que no hay muerto de inanición. Bueno, el apoyo que una ciudad sigo porque voy a tomar la iniciativa de esta manera. Seguro que no murió de
I'm super sure they're alive. I mean, come on. I'm at least 90%, maybe 85% sure they're still alive.
El 85% es suficiente. Nebia para siempre. El no es suficiente con lo que están jugando en el lista físico de otra persona. Nebia para siempre.
Exactly. That's exactly what we thought.
The cage of the rage! Wrath blaze!
It means the situation is monitored. It's relatively safe. No one has died yet.
Sure, man. Tell us what you want to know. Let's do it.
¿Qué es exactamente esa gente que hay en la iglesia?
Truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even know how many there are. All we've seen are glimpses.
Ni siquiera los has visto y quieres involucrar a la policía. Vale, pero hay que curar. ¿Qué podré decir?
Yes. There's also the machinery.
This machinery is of the deeply mystical variety.
When I first scouted the place, back in February, it was abandoned, empty. Took some time getting the crew together. So about 2 weeks ago, we came here hoping to set the stuff up. Suddenly, there are all these strange machines lying around in there.
One of them has wires running into bowls of water. Wires into water. Never seen anything like it.
Andre, tell him about the feeling.
Oh, and it felt like there was something in there with us, watching us from the dark.
No, the other one.
Which other one? I'm not as in tune with my emotions as you are, Egg.
Felt like silence. Awful silence.
For this man, even regular silence is awful enough. But that was something
¿Pero no
great.
habéis visto físicamente a nadie?
Not exactly. We've just seen someone who we think is a woman go in and out of the church. A couple of times. And we felt someone or something eyeing us inside. But that's kinda it.
¿Cómo que algo te está observando? ¿Puedes controlar más de esta maquinaria? Entonces, ¿cómo puedes estar seguro que son unos perdedores y no jockeys y ni siquiera los has visto? ¿Puedes controlar más de la
You
maquinaria?
should talk to Noid about that. I just got a distinct burnout and dopehead sign from them. Probably jacked up to some snuff station too. Probably.
With a small surge of
puede ser que esté relacionado con
alertness fills you,
lo que hacía el rol.
as if to say, this is a dark corner. Look behind it.
It means like one of those rich boy private radio stations, where you can listen to people getting killed on, then jerk off to it. Sick shit.
Not that we would know anything about that. Noid just likes to relay stuff. We're getting derailed here. In short, you can tell to Noid about the machines. He'll tell you more.
Entonces, ¿cómo puedes estar seguro que serán perdidos?
Well, honestly, I can't. But I am.
Why not? Let's go with that.
No veo nada malo en ese negociamiento.
I'm 70% sure they're substance users. Don't let the technology fool you.
¿Cómo que algo te está observando?
Like, you aren't alone, you know?
It wasn't quite human, if you know what I mean.
Están idos pero a la vez no es rápido. Es gracioso.
It was this dark shape climbing upside down along the ceiling, like some
Hombre
kind of
cangrejo.
crab man. Yeah, you know, the way it was climbing up and around the ceiling, like a crab.
It was stalking a cell, exhibiting ambush behavior.
Un comportamiento operatorio. Un hombre cangrejo.
Crab man! Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't personally see it. A cell was alone that time, but I believe her. If she comes out running and says there's a crab in there, there's a crab in there.
You should ask her about it, but be nice. Don't tell her you don't believe in the crab.
The implications of this are too numerous to consider. Proceed with caution. Learn all you can before entering that dark building.
Ok, otra cosa.
Sure. What?
Sé que no tiene todo su rollo de nacionalidad, pero ¿cuál es el rollo de cabeza huevo?
He's a quiet man. Mostly communicates through music. And by being a master of ceremonies.
Ah, ¿Qué es un maestro de ceremonia? ¿Cómo te comunicas con él?
Well, he's just kind of here. I don't really know how to communicate with him.
¿Aún no hablaste de él con el verdad?
Yeah,
de ver con
sometimes.
él de verdad?
When I stumble and find my way into his center, you have to hear a lot of hardcore to the mega first though.
The man smiles mysteriously, choosing to let the beat
Me dice que los
speak for itself.
eclesiásticos son los de la iglesia. ¿Quiénes son esos?
Oh yeah, that's a meteor and name for the founding party. Thought it'd be cool to use it.
Ah, del partido fundador los conozco, pero ¿podrías refrescar la memoria?
Come to think of it, I've never really looked them up, you know. I can't give you a precise definition, but they're a very powerful religious organization, and they have roots in ancient mass society. And they're the custodians of the Pericarnassian Church. Plus, they anoint the innocent.
No parece la clase de gente que quiere incluir iglesia en su iglesia.
Made the innocentic system.
Ah, parece exactamente la clase de gente que quiere música dance en todo trapo en su iglesia.
You're right, they do. The Pericarnassian Church is about love. And Nordic music is about love. I got love for my Pericarnassian posse. Love is the relay out of death. We dance. Love is hardcore. Unity.
Yes.
Unity. Make some noise for my Insulindian posse.
You feel it. The anodes and the cathodes coursing through you. Your big toe starts tapping along to the base, as if testing the waters.
No tengo muy... supongo que el amor puede ser hardcore. No es nadie simplemente disfrutar el movimiento. No, sí, hardcore.
Oh yeah, it can. He's coming around. You're getting it.
Me venía a la cabeza.
Feels good.
Tienes razón, ¿cómo podría el partido fundador no estar entusiasmado? La música danza boga por el amor, igual que la iglesia pericarnassiana.
Yeah! Yakokata! The place to be!
He seems ecstatic that you share his vision of Pericarnassian.
Sí, sí, sí.
Do it for the masses. Do it for the crew.
I didn't want to say it, but it was pretty lame of you to imply otherwise. Anyway, you got more questions?
The one with the large head is still looking at you, nodding his head. Wait.
Yeah! Let it out! Let the disco happen! Bring the disco into this world! Get this church shit on, and then dance there, motherfucker!
You feel like you could go for a little disco when, or if, they get this club going. You've got it in you.
Me gustaría preguntar sobre esta tienda llena de equipamiento.
Yes.
Creo que te has de tu propia agua.
Yeah. Good to have, bitch to carry. When I first scouted the place, I did some reconnaissance. I'm not sure the church even has running water.
Destilada y todo.
Oh. It's the one they sell at the fuel station.
Sí, está bien. No.
He nods enthusiastically, no doubt a little relieved.
Puede que no todo sea como te han dicho. Concédete un momento para analizarlo. Sí.
A number of things
Lo logré.
don't add up. Let's take a look.
Tengo más noticias para ti, Hunter. Aquí hay algo que no encaja.
What things?
He senses something is wrong.
Esto no es el proyecto de un club, es una tienda de campaña llena de equipo de laboratorio para fabricar drogas.
I have no idea how you arrived at that conclusion, but it's wrong. Look, we even have speakers.
One speaker. They have one speaker.
¿Dónde está su compañero? ¿Lo ha perdido?
What do you mean, friend?
El otro altavoz, solo tienes uno.
It's a one-speaker system. It's monodynamic. You wouldn't know the first thing about sound reproduction in anodic music. Other speaker.
Agua estirada, la piedra angular de cualquier laboratorio limpio.
And of all cellular-based life, what's your point, Lawbringer?
Creo que no es necesario que siga buscando pruebas, ¿verdad?
No shit.
En resumen, intentaste aprovecharte de un inspector de policía para montar un laboratorio de drogas.
Come on, that's...
Absurdo, ilegal, punible por ejecución sumaria. ¿Ilegal?
I meant to say, not true.
Ande, ¿qué voy a hacer contigo?
What do you mean, do?
There's resignation in his voice. He's almost ready to drop the act. It wouldn't take a lot of pushing. The optimal way to go about this would be indifference. It begins by you telling him you don't care about any of this.
Vamos a hacer el estilo agente de la ley. Primero me lo cuentas todo y luego yo te juzgo. Dime de qué va todo esto en realidad y seguiremos de ahí. Puedo ser indulgente. Me la trae el Pyro. Yo solo quiero resolver el caso. Tú haz lo que quieras, ya que yo haré lo propio.
Really?
Por supuesto que no. Soy policía. Dime de inmediato qué está sucediendo.
Or else.
Oh. O si no, se escucha el video de zorro como deja caer una llave inglesa en su herramienta. No sabía, soy el policía más hijo de puta de este lado del río. Tener la vida difícil, usaré en cada contacto que haga falta.
He thinks for a moment, then opens his mouth, but closes it again.
Things are just way too hard for an entrepreneur in this city. It's not like we're not going to turn the church into the wickedest club in East Revachol.
Because we are! We totally are!
We just got to turn it into a speed lab first.
You know, to get our foot in the door.
¿Y por qué me necesitabas?
Like I told you, spooky arseholes moved in while I was getting all this stuff.
Al menos fue honesto, che.
A month ago, the place was empty, and now it's all spooked up.
De espeluznante no tiene nada, ¿verdad?
No, man. They're spooky, all right. It's just that they would also probably call the police if we started cooking speed in there.
But the sign was way off, too. I couldn't feel the love at all.
So, what now?
This is it. Judgment time.
Afloja la pasta, primero pido un soborno. Hacer las maletas y presentarse a la comisaría de Distrito 41. Desaparece de mi vista, no quiero volver a saberlo. Háganlo bien, olvidados de la autoridad de Speed, montando un club de música anódica. Sigue adelante con el club. No saldría adelante sin laboratorio. ¿Sabes lo que se necesita por mantener el club en marcha? Seguir adelante con el club y el laboratorio de drogas. Tengo que investigar la situación de los exponentes antes de decir que haré contigo. Decir más tarde.
We can continue on an amiable path, right? No more misunderstandings, no more lies. Before you go, is there anything else you need? As always, we'll be right here, waiting patiently for the news. Yeah!
A ver, un puntito, cierto. Lo que tenía que hacer, mapa. Postura, electroquímica. Bueno, física, voluntad, visión espacial, espíritu, retórica. Enciclopedia. Conectividad. Botón de ropa. Acción, enciclopedia. Lógica, retórica. Percepción, vista. Retórica. Intocable. Sure.
The young man.
This is hardcore. It's hardcore!
Vas a decidir a recorrer con el de hardcore, ¿verdad?
Skibber-dee, skibber-danger. I am the rearranger.
¿Qué estás diciendo?
Your cop training did not prepare
¿Qué haces?
Back to the heavy hardcore. It's hardcore. Skibber-dee, skip.
Your cop train.
Big cloud. True. Hardcore. Yeah.
Puedo gritar sí cosas al salto lo que quieras, pero a mí el tema no me suena muy tal que digamos.
Spinning out lyrics since the day I was born, and the amount of lyrics I got is against the law. They're closed. True. Hard. Hardcore. Yeah. Slacky materialski.
What the fuck?
They're closed. True. Hard. Hardcore. Hardcore is a meg internally coherent.
Sigue sin decir nada.
All right. Yeah.
No decir
He
nada.
furrows his brow as his very large head traces the sublime, invisible movement of the music.
Hardcore. Ah.
Muy hardcore.
Is it though?
Lo es.
But is it? I mean, really?
Feels like you should reply with the very pinnacle of idiocy here, so that things get totally transcendent. But you haven't gotten there yet, so you don't know what to say.
También estaba pensando.
I am the mic enforcer. I am the chick's checker.
Casi lo logro. Casi logro comunicarme con esta
Big
persona.
clothes. True. Hard. Full. Car. Hardcore! Hardcore is a mega, internally coherent.
Entonces debe estar aquí esencialmente el señor colgado detrás del culo.
Good morning, yeah! 1, 2, 3, Yakokata, the place to be!
Ya lo he dicho antes, ¿por qué Yakokata es el lugar ideal? ¿Qué significa eso?
Yakokata is a hardcore play. They're closed. True. Hard. Hardcore is internally Good morning, yeah! 1, 2, it's the message, so listen and you will see. No illusion, the spirit is what you feel. They're closed. True. Hardcore. Hardcore internally all car. All right. Gotta get the people going. Yeah. Request. I want everybody.
Ay, Dios,
They're closed. True. Hardcore internally coherent. All car. Gotta get the. I'm the party boy. It's my job.
Yo también soy un petit
Two on a track. Watch your back. Watch out. They're closed. True. Hardcore is internally coherent. All gotta get the people. I'm the party boy. Hardcore party 25/7 beyond the winter's orbit style. They're closed. True. Hardcore Good morning, yeah.
No,
it's the message. They're closed. True. Hardcore internally all car.
He furrows his.
Hardcore. The question is, what is the question?
Eso hubiera estado bien si te hubiera preguntado algo que no ha sido el caso, así que me niegues. Responde la pregunta.
But there was no question. They're closed. True. Hardcore is internally all car.
He furrows.
The question is, what is... But there was a question?
Pero
They're closed. True. Hardcore is internally all car.
Cosa más interesante ese tipo de...
Is it though?
Estaba pensando eso.
One mind, one spirit. There's no other world.
So you headed, that's fine, man. But I've got to warn ya, our signs are still off.
Pero quería que a
It'll
estas alturas
take some
estaríamos
time for me
guay
to
en
get
cuanto a
my
sus
sight on.
Habla de las máquinas que tienen.
Weird stuff. Specialised. There was a data processor and some sort of long-wave machinery. Wires going into water. Gives off a spy sign. Or some fucked up Samaran science sign. You know, the kind nothing's wrong with it. You should definitely be researched.
The sickest. That's perhaps why it should be researched.
Most of it doesn't exist. But there's also stuff that isn't allowed to exist. Because the moralists think it's too dangerous for the plebs. Psionic powers, pale-related diseases, pretenders pretending to be human, folk rights, that kind of stuff. I'm doing what I can.
It's not easy for him. It probably took him years to get used to Andre.
The hardcore aesthetic is esoteric. It's not meant to be discussed with the law at this moment.
It's not easy to reach a harmonic resonance of sound.
Ok. El otro ser humano que está aquí. ¿Hay algo más que pueda hacer en este lugar en particular? No. Ahora voy a conseguir.
A shaggy-looking girl in her late teens or early 20s kneels on the ice with an electronic contraption in her hand. Hearing you approach, she looks up.
Oh. Hello there.
Hello.
She must be Estelle, the last of the speed freaks, Posse. It's cold out here, but she's not wearing a hat. She must be freezing. Everyone knows drugs make you invulnerable to cold. You bet this one likes to party.
That's my name. I take it you have met the others. Did they tell you about the church and the club thing? Will you help us? That's cool by me.
She looks prettier all of a sudden. The muscles of her face have relaxed. She must be quite pleased.
Huh? So should you.
You don't have to do anything.
Yo no tengo que hacer nada, yo soy la ley. Tú debes hacer. Debería, y lo tengo.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
No pasa nada, tú también deberías usarlo si planeas quedarte aquí fuera con este tiempo.
Yeah, well... Look, man, fuck the hat.
Your pulse rises. What did she just say? That's not how a civilian is supposed to address an officer of the law. Your eyes are fixed on her as everything gets very still. Then she looks down, pretending to be busy with the device. Make her meet your eyes. The kid isn't arrogant. She's just afraid to look you in the eye. You already put her in her place.
Echale un poco de nieve en la cara con el pie, no me puedo creer que le acabas de hablar de manera policía. Ay, qué hijo de puta. Hijo de puta, ay, la quiere hacer, pero no me parece que sea adecuado. No me puedo creer que... Ay, voy a muy gracioso, voy a decir eso.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. I was trying to concentrate on this thing here and I'm sorry I said that. My dad swears, my boyfriend swears, my whole family does. I've caught the habit. I didn't mean to and I'm sorry.
She looks up with a pained expression, her face caked with a thick layer of makeup. With her left hand, she's wiping some of it off to get the...
Okay.
Entonces intentaron utilizar para montar un laboratorio de drogas. Me imagino que ya estarías al tanto de ese plan.
I did and I'm sorry. For what it's worth. Which isn't much. You don't get to choose your posse, they choose you. Mine are idiots, but they're mine. I tried to talk Andre out of it.
Deberías haberte forzado más. Engañar a un policía no es moco de pavo. No me importa, soy loco. Solo quería informarte de que sea... No me importa, soy loco. Solo quería informarte de que sea el plan.
Okay, but I still regret it. I should have been able to control them. And I will in the future. I promise. May I ask? What did you tell them?
Yo solo decidiré después de haber investigado la situación en la iglesia.
Oh, right. That's wise. Take your time.
Nosotros me dijeron que entraste a la iglesia. ¿Qué viste dentro?
Oh, that. You're not going to believe me. There's no point in me telling you.
Ya veremos, delante de ti.
Okay. I went in and I saw a woman next to one of those machines there. Noid calls it a mainframe. She was dressed like someone who's been raised by their grandmother, you know, strange old clothes. Had this absent expression, didn't say anything, just stood still. And then, you know, right behind her, a man crawled down the wall. Upside down like a crab, down the church wall. I think the woman didn't even know he was there. He was completely silent. He stopped right before he got to the floor, then just hung there like that, looking at me. Right at me. I fucking turned around and walked out. End of story. It was too dark. I couldn't tell exactly.
Te equivocaste, creo.
Why?
Suena demasiado ridículo para ser mentira. ¿Qué dirías tú con una patalina así?
Nothing. Anyway, what else? Oh, that... Okay. She was dressed like... And then, you know, he stopped. It was too dark. Why? I guess so. Anyway, what else? Oh, that... Okay. She was dressed like... And then, you know, he stopped. It was too dark. Why? Okay then. They certainly do around me. My associates? I haven't got much to say about them. Of course I do. I just don't tell people about my friends and who they are and so on. I don't provide information on them. Me? I'm a silver bird. Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different later, but...
¿Qué es ese chisme que tienes ahí? Para, no sé qué te hace pensar que cambiar algo se pregunta más tarde. ¿Qué es ese chisme que tienes ahí?
This is a portable recording device. It's for field recording. Low quality, but still.
Okay, los cables.
Actually, just one wire. I picked on it till the braiding came loose. The wire leads to a contact microphone.
Es un micrófono de contacto.
A contact mic records sounds from inside things, like this ice.
¿Dónde conseguiste el micrófono?
Same place I got the recorder from, the Elysium.
¿Qué es el Elysium?
Oh man, you haven't been to the Elysium? It's the coolest place in this whole drug-addled shithole. It's a music club and a synthesizer workshop on Boogie Street in Jamrock. Musicians live there, like real musicians. I once saw Arno van Eyck.
Thinking about it really cheers her up. It's a long way from here, though.
Son a punto de encuentro homosexuales. Funny.
Yeah, there might be some. I don't think they look down on the homosexual underground there. The Elysium's not that kind of place. It's cool.
Como ya creo que me has malinterpretado del todo. Creo que yo mismo soy homosexual. No me malinterpretes, lo apoyo completamente. El palizo es un lugar que caja con su gusto. Es que tengo un problema con los homosexuales, es un gran problema. Nada, no voy a tampoco.
Okay then, that's cool.
Sobre ese tal Arno que mencionaste.
Oh yeah. I guess even with your modern take on sexuality, you wouldn't be in the Van Eyck demographic.
Yo parto la pana, ¿qué se refiere?
I don't know what that means.
Que soy Dabuten. ¿Qué es
esto? I don't know what that means either.
Significa que a pesar de mi edad estoy en la onda. Ni yo, pero tengo pruebas fehacientes de que lo aprieto. Pruebas como un magnetófono hecho polvo y una habitación de hostal completamente destrozada. Partir la pana de Dabuten. Ni yo, pero tengo pruebas fehacientes de que lo peto. Pruebas como un magnetófono hecho polvo.
That's cool.
Tienes razón, el tipo me va a abandonar.
Sucks, man. Was there something else? About the contact mic, perhaps? The mic? I don't exactly know. Somehow it doesn't pick up vibrations from the air. The book said it only picks up structure-borne sound, if you like technobabble.
Tengo unas preguntas sobre la relación que tiene. Tengo algunas preguntas que no tienen relación con el micrófono.
Okay.
¿Qué es de qué forma lo que haces?
Recording, I guess.
¿Y qué es lo que estás grabando?
I think I'm recording cracks in the ice, but there's no way to tell. Not without headphones. I think I just recorded your footsteps too. Not sure how that will sound.
¿No tienes auriculares?
My boyfriend sold them.
¿Para qué?
I don't know, man. Things. Just stuff you need for life.
Droga.
Everything checks out, sire.
¿Para qué son estas grabaciones de retrograbadoras?
The musicians in the Elysium used them for making music. They looped the stuff, cutting the tapes together. They make music out of cracks in the ice and keys jangling. Crazy sounds like that. It's hard to explain. Anyway, I thought I'd make some too. It's supposed to be, like, a music place anyway. I don't really know what I'm doing. They use synthesizers too. I don't have a synthesizer.
She looks at the recording device. The thing she thought would fill her hours with joy and escape. It's turning out to be an empty fantasy. She feels childish. Very useless all of a sudden.
¿Quieres mi chaqueta?
No, man, fuck that. I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry about the fuck.
It's fine.
She's shivering a bit.
Dale tu gorro, te necesitas más que yo.
Thanks.
Tengo otras preguntas.
Go ahead.
La grabadora está sobre el hielo como un juguete desechado.
The device is still warm from her touch and heavy as a brick from the batteries inside. The company logo, Omicron, adorns its yellow plastic cover. Inside, the tape is rolling. The girl looks at the device in your hands.
Que a tu edad tengas que sentarte en el hielo y sentirte miserable como te sientes con este tiempo y con la oscuridad de la noche al caer, lo lamento.
She looks you in the eye, her pupils wide, surrounded by a ridiculous amount of makeup.
La gente que construyó este mundo tenía la intención de que fuera mejor para ti, pero fracasaron. Es más fácil vivir en ese fracaso con esto a tu lado. Dar un toque a la grabadora.
The wind howls. She remains silent. It's real. Tell her.
No es un sueño infantil. Puede que sea tu arma contra todo lo que se te viene.
What is?
¿Qué se viene? Nada, siempre y como conserves esto, no tengas miedo.
Okay, I'll stick to it.
Something changes between you two. She looks at you differently now. As an equal. A fellow human being.
So thanks, I guess, for the psych session. Maybe I can return it. What's been eating you, officer? Come on, I can tell. But, okay. Be a boyadero about it if you want to.
Bueno, supongo que hay algo cierto. Que hay cierto. Supongo que hay algo cierto que. Supongo que hay cierto algo que me ha hecho en mi vida de infierno.
What is it?
Ay, tenía que ser algo político, no puede ser algo personal. Creo que son las situaciones de la clase obrera. Todo el mundo se aprovecha de la clase empresarial, prima de los emprendedores. Creo que son todos esos inmigrantes que nos quitan nuestro trabajo. La gente sigue anteponiendo sus intereses egoístas al bien común.
Oh, really?
Sí, nadie entiende que a veces hay que hacer sacrificios en aras del progreso. Es todo muy lamentable.
So, the thing that's been eating you is the slow pace of social progress?
No me interpretes, estoy a favor de un progreso lento y constante. Solo que deseo que la gente sea un poco más racional, eso es todo. No, probablemente no sea eso, ¿verdad?
No, it sounds like you just got chick issues.
Ahora que lo mencionas, encontré las cartas que habían tirado a la basura. Puede que tenga algo que ver con eso.
Okay. Why do you think that?
Pues para empezar tiene una leve aroma a chicle. Lo distinguí bajo todo lo de la mierda. Tiene entre la mujer y cara y leerlas me siento fatal. Mira todo esto y yo tengo por tiene entre la mujer y cara y leerlas me siento fatal.
There you have it then, chick trouble. Not political after all. Who was she?
No me acuerdo.
Really? You seem to be pretty upset about this chica.
Me acuerdo su olor, eso es todo.
Wow, man. That's some pretty strange shit. Are you sure the letters were for you?
Sí, estoy seguro. ¿Por qué si no habría sufrido la reacción que sufrí?
How come you don't remember, though? Is it like some selective memory thing?
Creo que me emborraché tanto que borré por completo todo el recuerdo de este mundo.
Yeah, or it might be that. This one time I did so much booze that I forgot too.
Sí, claramente había sido también alcohol.
It's obvious she's done more than booze.
Or it might just be some psych bullshit, you know? Königstein wank.
¿Qué paja mental y Königstein?
You know, the psych thing they've got going on there. Rich people like it. People in Königstein are mostly rich.
Pues gracias por la charla psicológica.
You're welcome. Might be for the best to keep that shit forgotten though. Just my opinion. If it itches, don't scratch.
Yes, but it itches really, really bad.
Eso es todo.
Okay, bye.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate, political opinions somewhere in Martinez.
Eso está mal, yo soy todo un radical. Así estoy yo. El señor razonable, alguien tendrá que mantener las cosas en calma. Esto porque sí como con la Castilla nada de lo anterior en cuanto a la política, ¿no? Voy a tener que meter la cosa en calma.
The air suddenly feels calmer, more transparent in a strangely tender way. Perhaps it's the hangover. Perhaps it's a temporary surge of serotonin. But something tells you it's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience.
Primero debe estar lleno de la conciencia, no solo más, un pasaporte para el mando. Mi fuego interno arde con demasiada pasión como para adaptar tu ideología de acuarela. Busco desarrollar ideas más interesantes y extremas. Dime dónde está el lleno de la conciencia.
It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a
¿Cómo se
handful
provocan
of
esas
times.
circunstancias?
Incrementally. Yawn. You'd get there faster with a little speed. History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place. Too quickly. That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment.
¿Qué pasa con las cosas que van mal ahora?
Tisk tisk. Just because you live in the present doesn't mean you have the right to place your needs above the needs of the future. You may never live to see the kingdom of conscience. Your children may not. Even your grandchildren might not. But that's no excuse not to keep working. What sang-froid? What benevolence? What a fucking joke.
Entonces, el reino de la conciencia va sobre hacer cosas solo de preservar el status quo.
Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed?
Un bonito juego que te hace preguntarte cosas posta. No.
Then you've never lived through real chaos. Sometimes, in the face of great disaster, defending the status quo is progress.
Vale, pero ¿cómo es en realidad la conciencia?
The kingdom is difficult to comprehend, and even more difficult to describe, partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. The kingdom of conscience is post-capitalist, post-national. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual.
Parece increíble, Alonso, para mañana es tarde. Vamos a aceptarlo.
Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow?
Bueno, pues ya nos veremos por allí.
That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revachol. When that real democracy kicks in, a long time from now, we are all going to be so much happier.
La conciencia. La angustia es poderosa, pero la democracia es sutil. De forma paulatina comienzas a experimentar cambios en el clima como nieve. Los copos se posan con más suavidad sobre tu costada frente. Cuando llueve están más cálida. La democracia está llegando a la región administrativa. Los ideales del humanismo bolivariano se están restableciendo a sí mismos. ¿Cómo si no? Son los ideales de la coalición y la moralista internacional. Esos tíos son de señal azul y solo son buenos y no solo son buenos, sino también poderosos. ¿Qué ocurrirá una vez que sus elaborados planes vean la luz? Como que cualquier opción que elija probablemente te hace ver como si fuera una mierda de todas formas. Huh.
You see that seagull up there? Remind you of anybody?
¿A mí?
Exactly.
¿Qué voy a hacer igual que una gaviota?
Think about the seagull's story. It's one of endurance and adaptation. The seaside was paradise once. They were birds of that paradise. Then their paradise became shit city. And what did they do? They became urban survivors, eating burgers out of trash cans, killing and eating pigeons. No time for that sentimental bullshit. They're hustlers, getting shit done. They're one pair of track pants away from gangsters, just like you.
Pero yo recomiendo alguna vez una hamburguesa a la basura.
You have. The body remembers.
Jorge, si todo lo que enseñan se para sobrevivir, yo soy la gaviota. Supongo que soy un poco como la gaviota. Pero yo no soy así, yo sigo siendo romántico. Yo soy la gaviota.
Own it. Steal hot dogs. Shit in the sand. Whatever it takes to keep going.
Ok, me toca explorar la iglesia, me parece, pero no lo voy a hacer allá. A ver qué hay aquí. Entre las sombras de un edificio enorme se residencian sobre ti. Distingues bancos polvorientos sobre entre las sombras, parece que faltan mucho. Un altar envuelto en la oscuridad, o si está demasiado oscuro para saberlo. En el interior pone Saltbrun 147. Un teléfono roto, el auricular está aplastado como si hubiera colgado con demasiada fuerza. Hay que ser animal para destrozar la cúpula de plástico.
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change.
Levantar el auricular.
You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable.
Introducir 10 centavos y marcar un número al azar. 005 24 03 150.
Calling. Still calling. This feels wrong. Should you be doing this?
Sí.
End of tone. Someone picks up.
Pierre? Is that you, Pierre?
Sí, soy yo, Pierre.
So nice of you to find the time to call me. It gets so lonely. Even the animals have died.
Vaya, qué mal.
Are you sure you're Pierre? Your voice, it's different. There. Chrysanthemum.
Her voice is drowned in white noise. Sounds like waves washing a beach, growing in volume until the call suddenly disconnects.
Bueno. Random. I just stopped here.
Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad. The cloth, if you can still call it that, makes a soft crunching sound. It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth.
Okay. Un tejado improvisado de los vagones intentó que el paseo marítimo sea habitable. ¿Qué es esto? ¿Una postal? Postal coro de 3. Oh, nice. Una báscula moneda llamada de categorizarse. Los vagabundos han pintado la lana con hojas sin poder agotar por ello. Lentas. Vamos a ver si encuentro. Ya no tengo sombrero. Fuck. Si yo me encontré una bala en 9 milímetros, ¿dónde queda esa bala? Ven aquí. Ven con papi, cajita. Ahí son botellas, puedo venderlas después. Oh, aquí hay moneditas. Give me the coins. Nice. Un TV bien, está vacío.
The smell. It's awful and familiar.
Un momento, esto es horrible, tapar la nariz.
It doesn't help. You can still smell it. Keep it in now. Don't overreact. Breathe.
¿No es el olor del pescado podrido?
Don't be naive.
Oh no.
Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency. That faintly cloying sweetness. Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach.
Es un cadáver.
Yes. A sense of dread washes over you as you look ahead.
Oh, mira, ese chabón que... Está congelado, tipo. Ten cuidado, también puedes sentir esa podrida.
There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled kebab wrapper in the trash bin. Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. The brand, 2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black Coke. You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. The wrapper...
Okay. Gente, está con el visor de gato con algo que el viento te pegó muy fuerte. El cadáver.
A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper. Half of his body has slipped between the cracked boardwalk, starting with the right leg. The fall has left him broken, contorted like a sad puppet. Another dead body. This is your job. Steel yourself. Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another dead body. Breathe. He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest. The leather jacket suits him well. It must be custom-made. A cool leather jacket with a bolt of blue? Oh no, this sounds terribly familiar. You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into 2. His jacket feels sodden and heavy under your hand. The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet is still dangling through the hole. You have to be quite inebriated to fall that bad. Well over a liter of pure ethanol. 3 bottles of wine, or 1.5 of spirits. His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his moustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze. Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair, stout build. Age approximately 50 to 60 years. He was confused when he died. Confused and alone, most likely. Overcome with the awful surprise of it all. He was just about to head home. The first step back home proved to be his last. There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist. A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch. This is where he came out of himself, drop by drop, when he was unconscious. A 0.75 liter Tallulah vodka with its cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside. It's mid-market spirits, with a slight touch of menthol. The man meant to enjoy himself, have a good time. Grabowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall. The blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum too. They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was the cause of the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile. The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back. First, you need to talk with the lieutenant, then report back to the station. This is too complicated to handle on your own. There's some tear. There's some tear. An empty. There's some tear.
Quiero agarrar la botella, mierda. Ahora después esta ventana la tipo lo orientas. Ah, también. Ok, estaba al lado de este lugar.
The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have dripping water falls from a high place. All you can see is the shadow of a collapsing staircase.
Okay.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the...
Oh, more money. Thank you. Okay. Más plata. Nice. No está con el paso, no se puede seguir por aquí. Sinceramente, tengo mucho que explorar todavía en esta área aparentemente y otras cosas que hacer y es hora que me vaya a dormir mejor, así que voy a guardar y seguir mañana.
The library card is folded into two and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads, whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio thriller. Stand a little less between. Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi genre. Some thrillers too. If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005 02 55 211 or visit us at Moreau Street. You should first decide what to do with the corpse before taking any further actions.
Okay, guardalo. Bueno, Arnie. Así que mañana a la noche continúa. Se puso interesante también. Muchas cosas que hacer en este día del juego. Así que veremos qué tal. Pero bueno, gracias por pasarse. A descansar. Bye bye.